Hello, everyone. RP Jeller here. You can just call me Jeller if you like. This is going to be the start of a new series on my channel and on my Twitch as well. I'm going to be streaming the gameplay live and then putting the videos up on YouTube. But this is a little bit of an introduction for the people to know what I'm doing. I'm going to be playing a randomized run of my favorite game ever, Dragon Age Origins, and I have created a random generator, and I rolled dice to figure out what kind of character I'm going to have, what they're going to be like, what they're going to be doing in the story, and so on and so forth. We're going to be playing on Nightmare difficulty. Our Warden is going to be male. They're going to be neutral selfish, which is not really, good and evil in terms of D&D alignment. I find that selfish and altruistic is a bit easier to roleplay than good versus evil. Just normal, but we're quite selfish. We are a human noble rogue, and our specializations are going to be duelist and ranger. The main party will consist of the dog, Sten, and Liliana. I rolled 3 times, and these are the 3 characters that the dice shows for me. Then we're going to be romancing Zevran. For the main story, we're going to be siding with the mages at the Circle Tower. We're going to be siding with the elves, but also curing the werewolves in the Brazilian forest. We're going to make Paramount king in Orzammar, and we're going to be destroying the Anvil of the Void. We're going to make Alistair and Honora rule for Eldon, and our Warden's fate will be that we survive by having another Warden land the final blow on the Archdemon. Now, for this to work and for Alistair and Honora to be on the throne, we obviously can't have Alistair die in the final battle, so we're going to be having to recruit Loghain, which does mean that we have to get Alistair hardened, I believe, and make him marry Honora. So that's kind of the main idea here, and I'm going to go into the game. Our ears, I think the size is quite all right. It's a little bit weird because whenever I look at this side of the head, from profile, the ear looks so big, but then from the front, it looks absolutely fine. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Let's make a cute little portrait. We're a noble, so maybe some purple. Uh, maybe we're smiling a little bit. Maybe we maybe we kind of smiled for the portrait. Unfortunately, we don't really have like anything super, so I'll consider that to be a smile. Let's just say I'll consider that to be a smile. Right. Um, I don't know what our voice should be. Really, the voice, it doesn't really matter as long as it's not violent. It's fine. If you've never played Dragon Age Origins before, I really, really recommend against using the violent voice for your character, because they will say, "Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?" over and over and over again, and it gets real old, real fast. Um, Cocky is kind of my go-to voice, and also if you are interested in playing a female character with a cocky voice set, unfortunately that was taken out of the base game, but a um, there is a mod that brings it back. And I quite like the way the voice sounds. I've just played very little with it because it's a mod that I've just recently discovered. But it's actually quite nice. I don't know what we're going to name our character. I guess he's quite selfish, but he's not a terrible full asshole. Um, he's going to be romancing Zevran. I don't know. Let's go with Leo or Leon Kuzland. There we go, Leon Kuzland. That sounds great. Um, we're a rogue, so I'm sure that I'm sure that particularly I don't know, I guess uh, veteran players of Dragon Age will probably not agree with how I like to play rogues, um, but I'm not the kind of I'm not the kind of guy to play archers at all. I suck at that, and I don't know. For me, it's quite a boring playstyle. Ranged, just like ranged combat, sort of with bows or crossbows and things like that. I find magic, to be quite nice ranged combat, but otherwise, for me, it's quite boring. I like to play, you know, uh, dual weapons. Um, and now I'm trying to think of whether to increase our dexterity or our cunning first, to start out with. I think dexterity is more important at first because it gives us access to extra abilities. Um, I think because we are so sort of like selfish, self-serving, we do want to know how to steal, and we also want to know how to coerce people, how to lie to people better, for our own for our own needs, for our own desires. Obviously, we would also have some combat training, because it is a game that features quite a decent amount of combat, and especially on Nightmare difficulty, we're going to need this maxed, obviously, to have access to all of the abilities, the top tier abilities for our class. Right. So I said, I'm not going to be focusing on archery at all. I'm just going to be doing rogue and dual weapon. Dirty fighting is great because it stuns your target. It's very simple. It doesn't do any damage, but it stuns them, and then you can backstab them and do stuff like that. And obviously, we do need dirty fighting in order to get to coup de grace, which allows us to backstab characters while they're incapacitated in some way as well. So that's something we're going to be wanting later. Dual weapon sweep is great. It's one of the cheapest and best sort of abilities, activated abilities in the dual weapon tree. Now, I think we'll be fine with not opening locks or spawning traps quite from the beginning, because you don't actually need this. It's also fine to just have decent enough cunning, as well as I have the lock bash mod installed to just bash open locks that we wouldn't otherwise be able to open, just because I don't like missing out on content. So we're going to be putting the game in Nightmare difficulty, and here we go.
For generations, your family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True. Though we both had less grey in our hair then, and we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Pup, I didn't see you there. Hal, you remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad.
I think we would probably be sort of interested in, showing a good face to other nobles to try to increase our own status. So we're going to be polite to Arlhau. So, and you, Arlhau.
My daughter Delilah asked after you. Perhaps I should bring her next time.
I don't think we're particularly interested in Delilah, but we're not going to be just absolutely saying no outright. So, sure, absolutely. I'd like that.
Good. She's talked about you ever since she saw you at a fair in Denerim. I think you have an admirer, young man.
At any rate, Pup, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle.
It's great to have an admirer. I think, according to oh my god, what did I name our character? I already forgot. Leon, yes. So Leon certainly likes having admirers. You never know. Maybe you want to Maybe they're going to send you some gifts or something, or they'll help you out just because they like you. I will do my best, Father.
Now, that's what I'd like to hear. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tirn Kuzland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
Absolutely. They're an order of great warriors.
They are the heroes of legend, who ended the Blight and saved us all. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about.
I do think that, despite sort of being quite selfish, I do think we're intrigued by the Grey Wardens. We think, they're an order of great warriors who, you know, um, enjoyed quite some status, before being sort of exiled out of Ferelden and then being allowed back in. So is there a reason I should join them?
You did just finish saying that Grey Wardens are heroes, old friend.
I've not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone?
Of course.
In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me.
Where is Fergus?
Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, spending some last moments with his wife and my grandson. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
All right. I do want to mention this is something that I forgot to mention earlier. I am using mods for this playthrough, just because I think they make the game better. The full list of mods that I'm using that are active for this playthrough are going to be in the video description on YouTube. However, I do want to just sort of like mention right now, other than the lock bash mod that I'm using to sort of open things, there is a sort of like slightly more extensive mod that I have that changes a little bit of the origin that we're playing through right now. It's called Obsidian's Nobler Noble. And as you can see, we started the game in these fancy clothes, fashionable clothing. And normally you'd start the game in full armor. It doesn't really look good. It doesn't really make sense that you would come into the main hall to speak with your father in full armor. You can sort of roleplay it as, oh, I just finished training in the courtyard and I came straight from there. But yeah, it's not as good. So I'd like to have these mods that kind of help with immersion. I will do something. I'm going to be using the Formari tome because that's one of the things that I do enjoy. But otherwise, the DLC items and the items that you get by getting certain achievements done in other game sort of like game modes, game DLCs. They're very powerful. These items are very powerful. You get them for free at the start of the game, and they make the game too easy. I will keep the memory band because it increases the experience you get from codex entries, and I think that one's pretty good. But otherwise, I'm going to be destroying every single DLC item. So other than the memory band and of course the Formari tome that we just used. But otherwise, these are super, super overpowered items. Well, I guess not all of them are super overpowered, but they're quite overpowered items, and I don't want to be misusing them. I don't think now. We could get improved combat training with the Formari tome, or we could get improved stealing, and hopefully try to steal some decent things from people. I do also have a mod that is called Stealing Improvements. It doesn't make stealing particularly overpowered or anything like that, but it does improve it because, you know, it's not particularly useful skill in the game, mostly. We stole 4 copper from this guard. And then it still does have a quite a long cooldown, so I'm not going to be stealing from probably every single person. 6 copper from this guy. Great. Then there's the How guards. Maybe we want to steal from the How guards and maybe not from our own guards. That sounds more likely, right? We wouldn't want to get caught by our own people, um, you know, because then why would they defend us, you know? But you know, against some other people, we could be like, well, no, you know, this was just like my way of greeting you or something. I don't think, even with, you know, I have 17 cunning. I don't think that even with improved stealing, you know, the second tier, I would be able to steal from How. Yeah, that's a failure. Let's see. We're gonna be going into these rooms, unlocking things, taking things. I will bash open some locks that I can't open. As I said, I didn't take the um, you know, the talent that's deft hands just yet. Um, but you know, realistically speaking, I think realistically speaking, I think we would have access to all of the rooms in the castle because it would just be something that we have. Um, right? We would be able to get the keys. We stole from a priest. You know, I don't think he's particularly religious. You know, I do think that he believes in the Maker, but he's probably like not really doing his job as a proper Andrastian. You know, obviously he steals things and he lies and cheats and does all sorts of things to get his way. So you know, he's not a proper Andrastian, so I don't think he would have a problem with stealing from a priest, especially a priest that works at a castle. You know, those tend to be, you know, well paid probably, and they're, you know, they probably don't really do a lot of the jobs that real priests of the Chantry should do, because they're mainly just there to appease the nobles living in the castle. You know, maybe do some kind of um, wedding ceremonies or something like that between the lesser nobles or the servants. Nothing special. I do think that you know, despite, you know, since I'm sort of like neutral in terms of lawfulness or chaoticness, I'm not going to be stealing from servants. I'm not going to be stealing from people who look like they're super poor. Because I think that's a little bit too asshole. You know, I think if I was chaotic, selfish, I would be stealing from people um, who were poor as well. Because I wouldn't really care. I'd just be doing whatever I wanted, and with the sort of intent to cause chaos as well. You know, to cause more chaos, to have things not be um, the way they usually are. But like this, I'm neutral, so I think I'm just gonna be stealing from people every once in a while, especially people who seem like they have some more financial means, just because I think that I would be able to get something better out of them. Anyway, let's meet up with Sir Gilmore now.
There you are. Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Why are you looking for me?
I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave.
Did the dog get into the larder again?
No matter how the maids try to keep him out, he always finds a way in. You know these Mabari hounds. They listen only to their master. Anyone else risks having an arm bitten off.
Then I guess I should go collect him.
That would be wise, before Nan tears down the walls. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we?
To the kitchen, then.
Just follow the yelling. When Nan's unhappy, she makes sure everyone knows it.
Oh, yes. Another important mention, one of the mods that I have installed, is the mod that allows me to fully customize my followers. Obviously, not really relevant for Sir Gilmore. It just gives me something that I need to do before being able to continue with the story. But for the main companions, I do enjoy this mod very much because, uh, there's, I'm sure for every player, there's certain abilities that you don't like personally, that you never use and that you never tell the you wouldn't even choose to use those particular abilities in the tactics. For example, for me, sort of like the spider form of a shapeshifter is something that I hate because I'm arachnophobic, and so I even have a mod that changes the appearance of the spiders into bears, just so I don't have to look at them. So obviously I would never use that particular ability, and Morgan starts out with it, because she's normally speaking a shapeshifter. But shapeshifters are honestly not that good. Um, they turn into these other shapes, and then they can't cast magic, and they can't really do anything else other than use some basic animal abilities. Like if you want an animal, just be a ranger, and you can summon an animal, and that's going to be way more useful than turning your actually useful mage into a shitty little animal. Let's collect our dog.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But, mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves. I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down.
He's not a mongrel. He's a pure-blood Mabari.
A blight wolf is what he is. How am I supposed to work like this?
Oh, dear. Mistress, calm down, please.
That's it. I'll quit. Inform the turner. I'll go and cook at some nice estate in the Banorn.
Nan, please. We'll get the dog. Calm down.
Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way.
God, she's such an annoying little lady. Let's just get the dog. I think we quite like our dog, because we're gonna be actually using the dog a lot in our party. He's gonna be part of our main party, so we're gonna tell him what a smart boy you are. Yo, yes you are.
Oh, encourage the hound, why don't you? No wonder he keeps giving Nan fits. He does seem like he's trying to tell you something. Wait, did you hear that?
I do think that sort of like secretly we enjoy that our dog keeps getting into the larder and annoying Nan, because she used to be our nanny when we were young. Leon, she used to be Leon's nanny, and I think he didn't really like her. He would have much rather been with his parents, seeing what they were doing. He kind of didn't, he kind of disliked having to sit around in the kitchens and see all of that, because that was really boring for him. Let's name our dog. What shall we? You know what? Let's go with a very, very classic name. Bark Spawn. And I do think I have a mace. I'm going to use a mace so I don't punch these rats to death. I will sort of turn the sound effects a little bit lower, maybe the music as well. There we go. That should be all right.
This is like a bad adventure story.
Yeah.
Giant rats? It's like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all.
Certainly looks that way.
Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is.
Oh no.
But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Jarl's men.
You bet that I'm gonna be telling Nan. Just so that she, maybe her head explodes, just for fun. Since she kind of, she was a little bit of a terror, I would say, to Leon, in the way that she didn't really let him do anything fun when he was a kid. So let's antagonize her.
As brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt.
Actually, he was defending your larder from rats, big ones.
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones?
They'll rip you to shreds, they will!
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead.
Yes, the rats are dead. It's quite a mess, in fact.
Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lord. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.
Right, so, we annoyed her a little bit. There's a mess that she has to clean up. Well, I guess the servants kind of have to clean up. You know what? I want to steal from her. 5 whole coppers. Amazing. Great. I'm just going to be saving the game. I don't want, occasionally the game can crash. There can be issues. So, just want to avoid that. This is a nice little room. I never really understood what the purpose of this room was. I guess it can be a meeting hall, a dining room as well, when maybe we have a lot of visitors or a party or a celebration of some kind. There's this table as well with where I'm assuming the Lord and Lady, possibly me and Fergus, sitting at this table to resolve issues. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what this is, kind of like a meeting hall, which is different from the main hall where this one. See, this is the main hall. I don't know what this room is because that's the main hall, but yeah, I don't know. It was always fascinated by that room, especially because it's just fully empty, and you don't really find anything of value in there. You do find something of value. I do think there's a chest there at night. Very strange though that the chest isn't visible during the day. So someone puts a chest there before nightfall, uh, while I'm off doing other things. While I'm off talking to people, I guess someone puts a chest in that room. Ooh, let's steal from this particular teacher because he was also quite a dictator, and he had no idea how to teach things in a more interesting way. Let's talk to these guards.
Oh, my lord, just,
Playing cards.
well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Tarn stationed us here.
Uh, did my father fear someone would steal something?
I don't know. Nobody has come to look at the treasury.
All right. Then perhaps you'd better get back to work.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
I do think that while he's sort of easygoing in some ways, this is the treasury, which has quite important things of value that he would not want to lose. Because one day some of those will be his. Um, so even though he's not going to be, he's not sort of like the heir, the one who's supposed to take over when his father steps down or dies. That's his older brother's whole thing. But he will have access to the family treasury. Doesn't want people to steal from it. Let's talk to our mother.
And my dear Bryce bought this back from Orlais last year. The Marquis who gave it to him was drunk, I understand, and mistook Bryce for the king. Ah, here is my younger son. I take it by the presence of that troublesome hound of yours that the situation in the kitchen is handled?
Yes, I think Nan's had exploded and my hound ate the kitchen staff.
Well, at least one of us will have had a decent dinner. Perhaps your hound left something I can feed my guests. Darling, you remember Lady Landra, Ban Lawrence's wife?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon.
Of course, it is good to see you again, my lady.
You're too kind, dear boy. Didn't I spend half the salon shamelessly flirting with you?
Right in front of your family, too.
You remember my son, Dain. He's riding with your father tomorrow.
It's good to see you again, my lord.
I think I will say, since we're going to be romancing Zevran, I do think that that Leon is gay. So we like Darren, and you, Darren.
And this is my lady in waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great honor, my lord. I have heard many wonderful things about you.
Don't look now, Eleanor. but I believe the girl has a crush on your lad.
Lady Landra! Hush, Landra. You'll turn the poor thing scarlet.
All right. I can handle my own affairs. Thank you.
All evidence to the contrary.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Dairon, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Right.
Good evening, your lordship.
We're going to be going to speak with Dairon and try to flirt with him, try to get him to come to our chambers tonight. Since, we're quite bored, nothing interesting has been happening probably for a very long time before this whole Darkspawn thing started. So let's try to talk to Darian. Darian, let's try to steal from him first.
Hello again. Your castle study is wonderful. Might I ask whose collection this is?
It was my grandfather's, but I come here often to read.
So would I. Do you have a favorite book?
Absolutely. Let's make him flush all over The Art of Passionate Love by Brother Capria.
Oh, that was banned by the Chantry, wasn't it? Quite provocative, I understand. I've never read it myself.
He's never read it myself. I could tell you all about it.
Oh, that's not necessary. Perhaps another time.
I'd like to get to know you a little
I
better.
like that. What did you have in mind?
Why don't we go somewhere more private?
Gladly. But your mother is expecting me for dinner shortly, as is mine. Perhaps another time?
Why don't you come to my room later tonight?
I suppose I could see you after everyone is asleep for something of a more intimate nature, if that is what you mean.
Of course, that's what I mean. Yes, I'd like that.
I look forward to it. I shall see you then.
There we go. We have started this. Let's also steal from this lady in waiting. Wow. Okay. Well, for one, she actually had something more interesting. She had a quartz. This guy had like 6 copper, which was like, bro, like you live like that. Hookers can be choosers though. Like for the beginning of the game, we really don't have anything right now. The mod that I have installed, Obsidian's Noblers, Nobler Noble, does I think add some extra money and things to the treasury that we're going to be able to access later on in the origin. So that's good. I also think that we get a particular set of armor, not just in the treasury, but we have one that we're going to wake up with in our room, which is pretty good. So we will have significantly more money than the usual starting character in Dragon Age Origins, but I do think that makes sense. And since I absolutely deleted all of our DLC items, we can't sell them to make a profit, and we can't use them. So we're really going to be needing good items to buy some good items for our team, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're going to be needing to spend quite a lot of coin, especially as we're playing on Nightmare and we're not going to be having any mages in our party. Let's talk to our brother.
Is there really going to be a war, Papa? Will you bring me back a sword?
That sword, Oren, and I'll get you the mightiest one I can find, I promise. I'll be back before you know it.
I wish victory was indeed so certain. My heart is disquiet.
Don't frighten the boy, love. I speak the truth. And here's my little brother to see me off. Now dry your eyes, love, and wish me well.
No Darkspawn could harm Fergus.
He is as mortal as anyone, despite his refusal to believe.
Now, love, no need to be grim.
You'll be missed, brother.
If it's any consolation, I'm sure I'll freeze in the southern rain and be completely jealous of you up here, warm and safe.
I am positively thrilled that you will be so miserable, husband.
I wish I could go with you.
I wish you could come. It'll be tiring killing all those darkspawn myself.
Surely your father would not place both his heirs in danger?
Mother and father have been fighting about it for days. It's too bad. I could have used you at my side.
Yep. I bring a message. Father wants you to leave without him.
Charles' men are delayed. You'd think his men were all walking backwards. Well, I'd better get underway. So many darkspawn to behead, so little time. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, my love.
I would hope, dear boy, that you plan to wait for us before taking your leave.
Be well, my son. I will pray for your safety every day you are gone.
Fergus will be fine.
I keep telling you, no darkspawn will ever best me.
The Maker sustain and preserve us all. Watch over our sons, husbands, and fathers, and bring them safely back to us.
And bring us some ale and wenches while you're at it. For the men, of course.
Fergus, you would say this in front of your mother?
What's a wench? Is that what you pull on to get the bucket out of the well?
A wench is a woman that pours the ale in a tavern, Oren. Or a woman who drinks a lot of ale.
Bryce, Maker's breath. I swear it's like living with a pack of small boys.
I'll miss you, mother dear. You'll take care of her, brother, won't you?
Mother can handle herself.
It's true. They should be sending her, not me. She would scold those darkspawn back into the deep roads.
Well, I'm glad you find this so funny.
Enough, enough. Pup, you'll want to get an early night. You've much to do tomorrow.
All right. I think we should also make our brother jealous and tell him that we have someone waiting for us in our room while he has to go marching out in the cold. We've got 20 dexterity. I think we can also put a point of cunning for now. I don't remember if I have a mod installed that that makes light armor require dexterity instead of strength. I'll have to see when we get access to some armor. I will improve our combat skills for now. I think that ideally we're going to be mastering our combat skills, improving our coercion and our stealing as well. And well, I don't know about tactics. Maybe survival towards the end if we have any extra points. Now, however, because I can, I'm going to be adding deft hands so that we can pick locks, more officially rather than bashing them open. Don't have any other particular items to put on, but we will be getting some armor as part of the mod later on. Let's speak to our brother.
Getting sent to bed early, are we?
I don't mind. I have someone waiting for me.
What? You sly dog.
Fergus, really?
Well, I sure hope he's worthy of your time, or I'll have to have a chat with the fellow. At any rate, I'll miss you. Take care of everyone, and be here when I get back.
It's really interesting, sort of like how Fergus says, "Oh, no darkspawn can harm me and everything like that." But it is actually true that in the end of the game, other than yourself, he is the only other member of your family that's alive. So do with that what you will. But absolutely, I just stole a piece of garnet from my brother. I don't even know why he had a piece of garnet with him. He's going to fight, not to sell things. I think I can also probably steal from his wife. Nope, she didn't have anything to steal. Well, all right. Let's save the game. And let's go. Let's go to our bedroom.
I'm sorry, I've been trying to quiet him, but he won't have it. I don't know why he's so angry.
Perhaps something is wrong.
I thought I heard yelling when I woke up, but now I hear nothing. Wait here. I'm going to see if there's something out in the hall.
No, don't go. Tyrant. Well, see, we do have, these lightly plated armor. Oh, so that is interesting. As as a warrior, you get, I think, armor, heavy armor, and as a rogue, you do get medium armor, which is nice. I didn't know that that was a thing. Um, and what I do like about this game, it doesn't start you off fully naked. In this thing, because I do think if Dyron heard yelling, I think we would have also heard yelling. If our dog was acting strangely, we would trust our dog to know that the danger is near, and so we would. I'm hearing the game a little bit too loud on my end. There we go. That sounds a little bit better.
Darling, I heard fighting outside and I feared the worst. Are you hurt?
I was about to ask. Those men killed Darren.
What?
Dyron.
Not Landra's son. But why? Her scream woke me up. There were men in the hall, so I barred the door. Did you see their shields? Those are Howl's men. Why would they attack us?
Why indeed? I don't know, but we need to get out of here.
Have you seen your father? He never came to bed.
No, I haven't. I was up in my room.
We must find him.
Can you still handle Weapon Mother?
I am no Orlesian wallflower. Give me a sword and I'll use it. Now let's go.
There we go. She's a warrior, but since we also have the dog, who is very much a melee fighter, I am going to make her a little bit of an archer kind of warrior, which is a possibility in this game, by the way. I always found that quite interesting, that warriors could be archers and that they could dual wield. That was something that they didn't really keep. Uh, that was something they didn't really keep in the other games. So you can't be. Unfortunately, you can't be a warrior, a dual wielding warrior, or an archer warrior in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, which kind of sucks, because I'm sure that there's different ways in which you can do archery or even a dual wielding. Especially in Origins, you have. I'll actually show you. You have this dual weapon mastery passive skill, which lets you wield full-size weapons in both hands. So you can actually wield two one-handed swords in both hands, and it looks really cool. It looks really badass. And it really does feel like you're more of a warrior and not a rogue. Um, but unfortunately, it's not really. Um, it's not really something that they kept later in the games. And so the only thing that you can do now when you play, you can a rogue, for example, in Dragon Age 2 or Dragon Age Inquisition, can't even have one longer sword in one hand, and they can only wield daggers. Kind of boring, kind of simplified, but what can you do?
No! My little Oren! What manner of fiend slaughters innocents?
I'll make them pay.
How is not even taking hostages? He means to kill all of us. Oh, poor fuckers. Let's go. I don't want to see this.
Yeah, let's go. I do think that other than just um, sort of like being selfish, I do think that we do very much want to take revenge for this, for what Hao has done, and to just absolutely destroy Hao, and to also gain some more status for ourselves, to make sure that Hiver will belong to us in the end once again. Um, and to find our brother if we can, and you do indeed find your brother as a human noble later in the game, at the very end, uh, at the sort of coronation scene. Your brother is actually there. It's kind of fascinating, really, because your brother, as you hear, sort of when you get to Ostagar, in the next part of the game, you'll actually hear people talking about our brother and about the fact that he was sent as part of the scouting group in the wilds, and that you can't go and tell him about what happened at the castle because the scouting party hasn't come back yet. And then in the actual wilds, when you go later that day, you find out that a, a lot of people were just injured and a lot of people died, and you're like, oh well, my brother could have been one of those people. But and I do think that he does say in the end of the game that he was injured then, but then he managed to sort of escape and, I don't know, recuperate somewhere else. Um, so that's pretty cool. Um, I mean,
Can you hear the fighting? Hal's men must be everywhere.
what should we do?
The front gates. That's where your father must be.
Is there nothing else we could do?
I have my treasury key. We could go there first and take the Kuslan sword from the vault.
Yes.
If anything is worth fighting to keep out of Hal's hands, it's that sword. But it may be a dangerous path.
Then let's go to the treasury.
If Hal's men are inside, they must already control the castle. We must use the servants' entry in the larder to escape. Do you hear me?
I hear you, but I do want How dead otherwise.
Then survive
No.
and visit vengeance upon him.
Okay. I will just say, like he's probably quite mad. His nephew has just been killed, his sister-in-law as well. So he definitely wants revenge, but he is not dumb enough. He's not dumb enough to, just throw it all away and die. He's smart enough to understand, yeah, this isn't the time to fight. This is the time to run away and then, be able to come back later. And I think we would say, go man, save yourself. Yeah, just let the servant save himself. It's fine. I don't think a servant particularly. Wait, are we playing on nightmare difficulty? Okay, yes. Just wanted to check. Um, the guards have definitely killed. Oh, something that I did forget to make my dog and my mother have tactics, so that they can actually use their own abilities on their own without me particularly. Okay, that's great. My dog just stunned everyone in the vicinity. It's pretty good. Um, we are getting a little bit low, but I think we're all right. I think we're fine because the store is closed, and we can just pause a little bit after this fight to rest, recuperate. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm just gonna sit here because if we go too far that way, we're going to be triggering some other enemies. So we're actually going to be sitting next to this door because there's some people inside here. We want to get rid of them first. Maybe I can help the guards, at least one of them. If you can save the guards, it's really good because they come to help you out in the rest of the fights around the castle. At least until you get to the main hall. I'm not sure that they follow you afterwards, but until then, we can use them. Obviously, the fights are a little bit easier than they would otherwise be, for the simple fact that we have this medium armor made out of steel, and these daggers as well made out of steel. Otherwise, I do think that you generally start with rough leather armor, with iron daggers. Not really noble uh, items, not really items befitting of a noble, but yeah. So, while this is nightmare mode, this whole situation doesn't make it easier. the noble mod does make it a bit easier. And as well, I don't know how much that influences the difficulty, but I do have a mod that slightly alters the dog. Um, I think he gets an ability point once every 2 levels, and I'm not sure if I believe his class is changed somehow. I'm not really sure. I don't really know exactly all the ways in which that mod changes things, but I do know that it allows your dog to learn a new talent every 2 levels instead of 3, and also that they get this sort of like um, extra set of 4 abilities. Um, it's pretty good. Um, Obviously, we're gonna need that. That's pretty useful because otherwise the dog is not that strong of a companion. But I do think that if you have this particular mod, he's okay. Obviously he's still not a full companion. He doesn't have that many abilities, but it's decent. I mean, a dog. Like a war. He's a war dog, sure, but he's still just a dog. I don't think that even like I wouldn't want a mod to change him even more than he already is changed by this mod. I think this is nice and balanced. Uh-oh. I just got kind of fucked up by I got fucked up because I think the archers were all targeting me, and then I think that I was also getting targeted by both of the melee characters. Okay. Thankfully, we had those 2 guards helping us because we saved them earlier, and we also had, the dog and our mom were like full health. Um, that is a little bit of of an issue when you're wearing medium armor, but um, and the other characters aren't wearing that much armor, and as much armor as you. That does contribute to the amount of um, hostility that you aggression that you pull, I guess. We're gonna go to the
We're getting close to
treasury.
The Kuzlan family blade lies inside. Use that key I gave you. That blade cannot fall into Hal's hands.
There's a very interesting thing here when you go into the treasury and you loot the family sword, because because the mod changes these to be usable for the rest of the game, more or less. And so this one usually, it's gray iron uh baseline, in the vanilla game, +1 damage, +4 attack. It's not terrible, but you wouldn't want to use this. But then afterwards, when you go in here, you can see that the game makes it out of to be made out of silverite, which does make it require 27 strength. It also restricts it to you, so that you are the only one who can use it. So requiring 27 strength is quite a lot. Um, Thankfully, in the fade, you get some sort of like bonuses to attributes, and then you have a lot of items that can give you attributes, extra attributes to just be able to equip it. I would like to equip it. I would like to use it, especially because it's restricted to me. And we also got our father's armor. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of strength and it's heavy, and we are a rogue, so we will be selling this particular thing. Um, the shield of Highover, for some reason, is also restricted to us. Um, So we're going to be we're going to have to sell that, because obviously we're a rogue, and we're not going to be using a shield. So those particular things, you know uh, they're just unusable in the game. So I don't really see a reason to keep them. It's more like formal armor anyway. I would imagine it's quite ceremonial, armor. So we're going to be selling some ceremonial armor. we probably would have taken. We took our family blade. We took some money, and we took some ceremonial armor that we could carry, and that would fetch a good enough price for us to be able to actually um, get our revenge on How. Because if we're penniless, we wouldn't be able to do that. But if we have some money, if we've taken some sovereigns, that's gold in this game, and also some other things that we could carry, we would be able to. Um, we'd be able to possibly get our revenge, right? Maybe hire some mercenaries to help us out. I don't know, do some shady noble stuff uh, to get our land back. Yeah, it's. I think it's time to fight everyone. Now I do kind of wonder if we can steal from this guard here. No, cannot steal in combat. Um, I was just thinking, since he is friendly to us, he's not an enemy. We might be able to steal from him in combat, but that wasn't the case. Um, there is a if you have master stealing, you can steal from anyone even during combat. But we might be able to steal from these guards. Yeah, just like this. Just from one of them. Maybe we just noticed a little coin pouch, and we thought that it was maybe useful. It wasn't really useful. It was just let me fix my audio a little bit. Um, just to be safe, I will turn down these two. I think it's fine if you can't really hear the game sound that well. It's alright. It seemed a little bit loud to me. Alright. We've killed every single How soldier that we found so far. Now it's time to help out in the main hall. And when you see a mage, try to take them out for. Oh, of course, someone. Okay. I am going to try to get in here, stun the. Oh boy. Yeah, the mage is really dangerous. So, when you see a mage in a fight, especially in a fight that has a lot of other characters, I'm gonna use a potion. The mage is probably the kind of enemy that you should be taking care of first, because mages, they can do a lot of damage. They can do AOE damage as well. Like with a fireball, they can just wreck your whole team, and they can also heal or protect their allies in particular ways.
Man the gates. Keep those bastards out as long as you can. Your ladyship, my lord, you're both alive. I was certain Hal's men had gotten through.
How, that treacherous bastard?
When I realized what was happening, it was all I could do to shut the gates. But they won't keep Hal's men out long. If you've another way out of the castle, use it quickly.
Alright, we need to find Father.
When I last saw the Turn, he'd been badly wounded. I urged him not to go, but he was determined to find you. He went towards the kitchen. I believe he thought to find you at the servants' exit in the larder.
Bless you, Sir Gilmore. Make her watch over you.
Make her watch over us all.
Right. I'm gonna level up because I leveled up. Oh, I think she's wearing light armor. Yes, so I do have the particular light armor mod that makes it scale with dexterity instead of strength. However, I do still want to be able to use the family sword, so I will be increasing my strength a little bit. So I'll increase my dexterity and my strength by 1 right now. I don't know exactly by how many points I need to increase my strength, and before I get all of those extra points from the fade and other item bonuses. So I'll just be increasing it by 1 a little bit, and we will do the mage tower quite quickly after um, the the introduction part. Lethality is really good because you can use your cunning to modifier to affect the attack damage in place of the strength modifier. Um, Now, I am a little bit confused. Like, I do think that maybe if we are adding strength, we don't actually need to add cunning to our character. Like, you need like 22 cunning for a device mastery. Otherwise, you don't really need cunning to upgrade, or for stealth if you want to use stealth. But otherwise, you don't really need cunning for anything. So if we want to have 27 strength, maybe we're just gonna have strength as a sort of like well, dexterity will be our main stat, and then we'll have strength as our secondary, and cunning will be our sort of third tertiary stat. Let's go with dual weapon finesse, maybe. It's pretty good. I do like riposte as a skill, but dual striking is not that useful. So for now, let's just go with the dual weapon finesse. The dog, give him some strength, give him some dexterity. Right, I don't think we've gotten any interesting new things to have. All right. Let's steal from Sir Gilmore. Maybe he has something interesting. Yeah. Greenstone. Okay, it's not bad. That's a few silvers. Right. Let's kill some more of these soldiers. Oh, I didn't need to stun him on top of the existing stun, but it's okay. I actually think that the dog stun with what's this, the Dread Howl, is actually a stun that lasts longer than the Dirty Fighting one that I have. Honestly, the dog's stun, the Dread Howl, is a really good ability. It stuns a lot of characters, a lot of creatures around, and it has a pretty big range. So I will just say that, you know, um, lasts long. It has a big range. I do think its cooldown is quite big. Like I think it takes what's the cooldown? What does it say? 40 seconds. Like a fight will probably not take very long most of the time. Like in a big boss fight, you might be able to use it multiple times, but bosses might be resistant and might not actually be able to get stunned by that ability, unfortunately. That kind of sucks, but not much you can do about it. But otherwise, in sort of like not necessarily boss fights, but fights where you have to kill a lot of creatures rather than just a few, just like one big boss, the dog is quite useful. And there's a lot of such fights. Spirit Shard. I think we'll do our best. Maybe we don't have to do obviously all of the quests. This is not about like uh, completionist playthrough or anything like that. More of kind of choose to do the things that I think this character would want to do, would care to do. And so if there's a particular quest that I think might be a bit too difficult for the kind of party that we're required to use the dog Liliana and Sten. No mages and just a dog instead of a full companion. I might skip that kind of a quest. And here is our dear father, bleeding out on the stone floor.
There, you both are. I was
Bryce,
wondering when you would get here.
Maker's blood, what's happening? You're bleeding.
Maker's blood.
Men found me first. Almost did me in right there.
We need to get you out of here.
I won't survive the standing, I think.
That's not true. You'll be fine.
My boy. If only Will can make it so.
Once Hal's men break through the gate, they will find us. We must go.
Someone must reach Fergus. Tell him what has happened.
And take vengeance.
Yes. Vengeance.
Bryce, no. The servants' passage is right here. We can flee together, find you healing magic.
The castle is surrounded. I cannot make it.
I'm afraid the turn is correct. House men have not yet discovered this exit, but they surround the castle. Getting past will be difficult.
You are Duncan, then? The Grey Warden?
Yes, your ladyship. The turn and I tried to reach you sooner.
My younger son helped me get here. Maker be praised.
I am not surprised.
I mean, honestly, I agree with her. She was like, we can just get out and find you some healing magic. And like, we do have healing poultices. I do have a lot of them in my inventory. You know, if I could heal myself in battle with something like that, he would probably be able to be at least decently healed enough to until we can find him some healing magic. But, you know, for plot purposes, he dies and I live. Are you going to help us, Duncan?
Whatever is to be done now, it must be quick. They are coming.
Duncan, you are under no obligation to me, but I beg you, take my wife and son to safety.
I will, your lordship, but I fear I must ask for something in return.
Anything.
What is happening here pales in comparison to the evil now loose in this world. I came to your castle seeking a recruit. The Darkspawn threat demands that I leave with one.
I understand.
Are you talking about me?
You fought your way to me through Hal's men. I think the Maker's intention is clear. I will take the Tyrna and your son to Ostagar to tell Fergus and the king what happened. Then, your son joins the Grey Wardens.
So long as justice comes to Hal. I agree.
Then I offer you a place within the Grey Wardens. Fight with us.
My duty is to take vengeance on Arl Howe.
We will inform the king, and he will punish Hal. I'm sorry, but a Grey Warden's duties take precedence even over vengeance.
Hal thinks he'll use the chaos to advance himself. Make him wrong, bub. See that justice is done. Our family always does our duty first. The Darkspawn must be defeated. You must go. For your own sake and for Ferelden's.
I will, father, for you.
We must leave quickly then.
Bryce, are you sure?
Our son will not die of Hal's treachery. He will live and make his mark on the world.
Darling, go with Duncan. You have a better chance to escape without me.
Eleanor.
Hush, Bryce. I'll kill every bastard that comes through that door to buy them time. But I won't abandon you.
I won't let you sacrifice yourself.
My place is with your father. At his side to death and beyond.
I'm so sorry it's come to this, my love.
We had a good life and did all we could. It's up to our children now.
Then go, pup. Warn your brother. Know that we love you both. You do us proud.
They've broken through the gates. We must go now.
Goodbye, darling.
That's just dumb, you know? Because, like, she helped you get
We will be
this far.
south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Kaelan, I didn't expect
a royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
No need, Duncan. You are Bryce's youngest, are you not? I don't think we've ever actually met.
I really do like the king. You know, I do get I'm very sad that he dies. You know, I'm very sad that Kaelan dies because he's a really nice guy and he seems to have a good idea of like what he wants his kingdom to be, and he's trying to help people. But I think I would tell him. I would try to tell him immediately about important news. So yes, I am, and I bring important news.
Is it about your father? Your brother has been concerned about him.
He's not coming. He died when our castle was taken.
Dead? What do you mean? Duncan, do you know anything about this?
Terran Cousland and his wife are dead, Your Majesty. Arl Howe has shown himself a traitor and overtaken Highever Castle. Had we not escaped, he would have killed us and told you any story he wished.
I can scarcely believe it. Well, how could he think he could get away with such treachery? As soon as we are done here, I will turn my army north and bring Howe to justice. You have my word.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
No doubt you wish to see your brother. Unfortunately, he and his men are scouting in the wilds.
I am not eager to tell him, Your Majesty.
Of that I have no doubt. You will see him again once the battle is over, I am certain. I apologize, but there's nothing more I can do. All I can suggest is that you vent your grief against the Darkspawn for the time being.
So long as Arl Howe pays, I'm happy.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
I didn't realize things were going so well.
I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the Tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
Kaelan is really nice. He really doesn't deserve dying like that.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here.
Perhaps this isn't really a blight after all.
So some believe, but I disagree. Despite the victory so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Why not? He seems to regard the Grey Wardens highly.
Yet not enough to wait for reinforcements from the Grey Wardens of Orlais. He believes our legend alone makes him invulnerable. Our numbers in Ferelden are too few. We must do what we can and look to Terran Loghain to make up the difference. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay.
What do you mean? What ritual?
Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
I need to find Fergus.
You heard what the king said. He is scouting in the wilds and beyond contact. Be patient. He will return.
All right. Wonderful. Let's get this over with then.
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Your hound can stay with me while I attend to some business. The Grey Warden tent is on the other side of this bridge. You will find us there should you need to.
All right. I think that's going to be it for today. We've finished the whole origin story. We've gotten to Ostagar, and the next time I think we'll be trying to at least get through the Korkari Wilds, if not the Tower of Vishal as well, to the whole of Ostagar. Might have to split it up into two, depending on how long it's going to take me to do everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode in this randomized Dragon Age Origins series with Leon Kuzlin. Hope to see you guys next time.